Thanks for hanging back here with us for the Engineering 2. This is the second pathway here at the Epic Center at Stafford High School. My name is Scott Flath. I am one of the work-based learning coordinators here. I work in the Career and Technical Education office, and we also have Tracy Chestnut, who will be here momentarily. Remember that there is a successful completion of algebra before you start the program. So if you're already not in algebra, you can take algebra over the summer, as long as you have that algebra completed by the time the program starts. All right, what is the Epic Center? Good, thanks. For engineering. So just to review, you guys, we do have this whole experience for the students that will extend applications of math and science beyond the classroom in innovative and practical spaces. Now, it's important before you leave here tonight to know that this is a rigorous pathway. And obviously, some of these things are designed when you go through the rigorous coursework is to strengthen critical thinking skills, support innovation and creativity. And Mr. Bowling earlier mentioned entrepreneurship. Part of this is to help build those entrepreneurial skills. We don't know where the students will be. They may be working for a company, or they may be leaving here and eventually starting their own business. So it's important to address some of those skills as well. And lastly, when they complete this program, the idea is preparation. Many of these students will be pursuing an engineering degree. So that is something they'll be doing at the end of the 4 years. They should be ready to do that. What we're going to do is actually give you an overview to help answer some of the questions you might already have about the program. We have Dr. David Eshelman, who will be joining us in a video, and he's going to talk about particularly the differences between the engineering program at North Stafford and the engineering program here at Stafford High School. So just kind of listen up for that, as well as any other questions that you might have.
Welcome to Stafford High School, home to our Epic Center, engineering professions and industries of construction. My name is Dr. David Eshelman, and I am the Director for Career and Technical Education for Stafford Schools. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about our 4-year pathway in engineering offered at Stafford High School. Engineering is a profession of paramount importance, serving as the backbone of our modern society. It is the application of scientific and mathematical principles to design, build, and maintain structures, machines, systems, and processes that we rely on every day. From the buildings we live and work in, to the roads and bridges we travel on, to the technology we use for communication and entertainment, engineering is at the heart of it all. It is a profession that shapes our world, driving innovation and progress, and solving complex problems to improve the quality of life for all. Moreover, engineering is not just about technical expertise. It also requires creativity, problem-solving skills, and a strong ethical commitment. Engineers are responsible for ensuring the safety and well-being of the public, and their work has a direct impact on people's lives. The importance of the engineering profession cannot be overstated. It is a field that is essential to our society, economy, and way of life. Now, providing engineering opportunities is not new to Stafford schools, but with the opening of an additional and unique 4-year pathway, we add additional opportunities and experiences for students that are interested in an advanced degree in the engineering field after graduation. I want to take just a moment to explain an already existing engineering opportunity so I can later describe what is new here at Stafford High School. Remember, specialty centers are helping to align and/or expand opportunities for students. For years, Stafford Schools has provided students a 2-course sequence to explore the engineering field. Due to interest, Stafford applied to the Virginia Department of Education to open a Governor's STEM Academy. The Stafford Academy for Technology, or STAT, is a state-approved Governor's STEM Academy. STAT is a 4-year program of study utilizing integrated, hands-on, project-based instruction focused on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM career areas. STEM includes medical fields, The STAT instructional team includes teachers from sciences, technology, English, and mathematics. STAT is open to rising ninth graders on an application basis. Students accepted are permanently enrolled at the high school where the STAT Academy program is housed. Biomedical Sciences is located at Brook Point High School in the Chance Center. Engineering is located at North Stafford High School, and Information Technology is located at Brook Point High School. With over 31,000 students enrolled in Stafford schools, there is a need to open an additional 4-year pathway in engineering. With STAT Engineering in the north, Stafford High School will now provide additional opportunities for students. Let me take a moment to differentiate between the two different opportunities. The STAT engineering program utilizes PLTW curriculum. PLTW stands for Project Lead the Way. This is a nationally recognized curriculum with specific equipment and training required for our instructors. Each Project Lead the Way engineering course engages students in interdisciplinary activities like working with a client to design a home, programming electronic devices and robotic arms, or exploring algae as a biofuel source. These activities not only build knowledge and skills in engineering, but also empower students to develop essential skills such as problem solving and critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and perseverance, just to name a few. Additionally, this pathway will align with a future specialty center offered at North Stafford High School in aviation and logistics by offering a Project Lead the Way course in aerospace engineering. This engineering pathway will take a civil and mechanical engineering focus, as the program will align with our expanded construction trades programs and a long-time hands-on project called BOOTS, which stands for Bringing Occupational Opportunities to Students, where students design and build a residential home, which is then sold to a community member. This program is currently constructing our 28th home. The program began in 1990 and still continues today to provide our students real-world opportunity to apply content from all subjects. Again, I thank you for attending the event this evening to learn more about our career and technical education offerings in the EPIC Center. This is an exciting time in Stafford schools as we continue to expand opportunities for all students. I hope you enjoy the rest of the presentation.
Okay, let's take a look at the sample course sequence here that we have listed here for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. Let me be clear that Tracy and I both work in the CTE department, but we are by no means engineers. We've never taught engineering, nor will we ever teach engineering. So we do have notes here. We're going to go through these notes, and it's really important that you leave here tonight with an overview of what these courses will be. So at least you get an idea of some of the classes before you have to make the decision.
This is on page 17.
Yeah, if you open up your guide and you want to go through that, it starts at 16 or 17. When you look at these, at the bottom of the chart or table, there are some classes listed in blue. Those are non-negotiable. These classes are required for the 4-year pathway. Now, of course, what you're looking at is a sample of classes, and they, by no means, will limit the students to take AP, DE, or even any other honors courses. But the 7 or 8 classes at the bottom, again, required classes for the engineering pathway. Okay, we're going to dive into the first class. Now, the idea here is that Tracy and I will give you sort of a summary of each class, give you an idea of what that class is about, what they'll be doing in that class. But again, we're not diving into curriculum, just to give you an idea of what these courses will look like in the sequence. The first one is Engineering Explorations. And this class is actually designed to go from everything from the history of engineering all the way out to present day to potential careers within the engineering field. The hands-on project learning is designed to help them do that. And the engineering accomplishments is something that is probably important to look at. Think about anybody who's ever told you we don't want to repeat the past. What they probably should have said is, we don't want to repeat the bad past, right? It's okay to repeat the good past. And in this case, looking at some of our engineering accomplishments in history is a good thing. They can look at that, simulate it, look at what they've done correctly, like the Brooklyn Bridge after the Civil War. They started building that and finished it in the early 1880s, and that was done without the technology we have today. Think about that. So they can look at that as certainly an engineering feat, look at it, kind of copy it and see what they've done correctly, so they can again do that here in modern days or modern times. Engineering career fields they'll look at. It's important to know what kinds of jobs are out there in this field, and like anything else, develop communication skills within the program. Another class during their freshman year is technical drawing and design. Paperwork isn't working very well. Technical drawing design introduces the design process. Now, the design process for engineering is very thorough. There's a lot involved in that, and Tracy will show you an image of that a little bit later. But they're just being introduced to that design process, and then they'll practice that in a later class. It's also about exploring technical drawing foundations, producing technical drawings, and producing prototypes. The engineering analysis and applications class is a little bit more STEM driven and certainly hands-on. We're going to get a lot of hands-on as they go throughout those 4 years. They're going to learn how to communicate information as a team, just like in the real world. If they're at a real job, oftentimes there are groups presenting, and in that case it might be proposals or technical reports, and they're going to do that in class. They're also going to examine the different engineering systems and practice applying the engineering design process that I mentioned in the previous class. So once they were introduced to that process, now they'll have a little time to apply that process.
Okay, the next sequence in your sophomore year is engineering, drawing, and design. And that is going to give further extended knowledge what you learned in technical drawing and design. And Scott, if you go to the next one. You're going to engage in the real-life projects. You're also going to start learning about AutoCAD and about Autodesk Inventor software. And later on, there'll be opportunities for you to have tests for an industry credential in AutoCAD once you learn these. And next. Then you're going to engineering studies in your junior year. And for engineering studies, you're going to form teams and you're going to select a design problem. And you're going to use all your resources from math, science, graphics, community resources. And your project can be models or systems that you use. And you're going to come up with multiple solutions to the problem. And then you're going to test them all and find the best one. And you're going to communicate those results and learn from that in your class that year. You're going to be much more in depth. And then your last course for that 4 core in your senior year is the engineering practicum. And that's when you're going to take everything that you've learned from the past 4 years all together, and you're going to examine the ethics and intellectual property, and you're going to design a project. And then that's going to be your team project, and you're going to present it in front of a panel. Also during this class, you're going to learn about all the different specialty areas of the engineering field, and it'll give you a good feel for, am I a good candidate for engineering in college? So you should have a good understanding by then. And then also in senior year, there are 2 DE courses, one each semester, Foundations of Engineering and Engineering Design. These are offered through Germanna Community College, and they are the very basic foundation courses for any engineering specialty. So whatever college you choose to go to and what you decide to major in, these courses are relevant and will help, and you'll earn college credit for them. All right, every CTE course has a career and technical student organization. It's also called a CTSO. The one for engineering is TSA, which is Technology Student Association. So they use integrated instruction through the STEM field, science, technology, engineering, math. and you're going to work on your career skills, your leadership. You're going to explore career interests and goals, and you're also going to attend competitions against other school divisions. And it can be local, it can be state, and it can be national.
Okay, let's try this without the paper. Speaking of work-based learning, HQWBL, this is high-quality work-based learning that we have here in Stafford County, and this is an excellent program that we have here that gets the students out into the career area. So, for instance, if you have a child who might be working someplace out after school or on the weekends, just a regular job, that's a job, right? But to delineate between that and work-based learning is the curriculum connection. We need to connect what they're learning in school, in this case, the engineering classes, to a career field out in the community. So we do partner up with the business, making sure that students do get that opportunity to apply hands-on experience. So that could look like an internship. It might be an extended job shadow for at least 40 hours, but whatever that might be, that's an opportunity that every student will have in this program by their senior year. Admission to the program, just to review, you guys already know that algebra is required, and the student really needs to be highly motivated. Once again, a lot of rigor across the 4-year pathway. And lastly, make sure that you do complete the secondary offerings lottery application. That's the one online. Most of you have already probably seen that. Mr. Bowling has talked about that a little bit earlier this evening, and of course, we'll take any questions you might have on that in a bit. And again, just a review of the dates. The application is open now, and it looks like 1 month from tomorrow, the application closes, and then the students are notified February 5th. Let's shift tracks a little bit for the transportation. All current high school students beginning a program will transfer to the offering school. So no matter where that is, if you apply for, are selected, and decide to go, you will transfer to that school for all 4 years. If there are any siblings already enrolled in a travel program, they'll continue in that travel program for the rest of that high school experience. And for programs with multiple locations, they will not send you to your zone school. They'll send you to the school closest to your actual address. Okay? We do have some resources for you guys as you leave tonight. Of course, there's some time here to ask questions, but some of you prefer to kind of do that kind of behind the scenes. And if you want to email those questions, academicprograms@staffordschools.net is your email address. You can also visit our website, which is a huge resource. Once you go to, you can just search secondary offerings on our website. That'll pull up a page, and along the left-hand side are a ton of great and helpful links, including frequently asked questions. Okay, if you want to use your phone, this looks like you can access the applications right away. If you have questions, we're going to open up the floor now. We have a few minutes to try to answer those questions. Or again, if you want to scan this thing, see what the application process looks like, you can do that.
How many slots do you have for the engineering program?
So I'm going to go like this, we can share this. So we have to use 2 microphones here because we're recording as well. So right now it's anticipated that for the engineering program, we will have at least 25 seats. That could expand based on demand. So we need to see initially how many applicants we get, and then we can shuffle resources if need be. So at least 25 students, possibly up to 50.
Okay, and the lottery system, do you know how that's going to work? Is it just all random by choice, or is there like an application kind of process?
Yeah, so the question is about the lottery process and how it works. So much like a lottery, anyone who applies will be considered as long as they meet the minimum criteria. The only way this is different than any just random drawing lottery is the fact that we ensure that each high school, has kids from those high schools in the program altogether. We don't want it to all be just these two schools. So we want to make sure, so what we do is it's like a sub-lottery within the lottery for each high school. And then there will be some seats that just come from the general pool of applicants. I hope that helps. Yes, sir.
So my student applies, doesn't get selected in ninth grade, does that mean that he essentially has no way to enter the program if he doesn't get selected for his rising ninth grade year?
At this time, no, this is for rising ninth graders only. What we will be doing is looking at what opportunities we can provide for rising 10th grade students, but I would encourage you to apply for more than one program or regional school. So there are a number that are in this same type of area. You've got the stat engineering, you've got the stat IT, you've got biomedical, which is a pretty rigorous program. Through the CHAMP Center. You also have the engineering program as well as CGS and ATI UMW is another great one. Yes?
Many of the electives listed are in the program of studies as general electives as well. So if a student is not in this program, but they're at a school that offers those same programs like engineering explorations, would they still be able to take that as an elective?
So the question is, if they're not in the center, but they're in a school that offers some of these courses just as a general elective, can you still take those courses? So the answer is yes, as long as there's space available in the course. But the students in the center will be scheduled into those courses first. I hope that helps. Yes, sir? So the QR code here will go to a web page, and at about halfway down, you'll see two different applications, one to go to CGS and one for the general pool of all the other programs. Yes?
So I guess I have a question. For the application, is it where the students have to do the username, password, or is it the parents? Because I think I saw something that says the parents.
So we ask that the guardians set up the account. And the reason is because we notify by text and email, and we want to make sure that a guardian of some sort is involved in the process and knows what their child is applying to. So we ask, now that could be an uncle, it could be a brother, it could be someone else, but that is how, but two guardians can be added. So you could have two people being notified, just so you're aware, and it can be notification by email or by text. Mm-hmm. So what you do is you set up an account as the guardian, and then the next phase will say add a student, and you put in the student's ID number, and it'll auto-populate, and it'll pull up the student and give you all the options that they can apply to. Yes, sir?
Can one guardian have 2 students?
Say that again?
One guardian have 2 students?
Absolutely. You can have 10 students. You can have 20. As a parent, I don't suggest 20. However, 3 or 4 might be enough. Yes, sir. Okay.
And then, at the end of this engineering, do they get like a test to be certified or something like that?
So what we're going to be doing is looking at different project management certifications that are appropriate for students to take at this level. Right this minute, we have not identified the one that we're going to be offering. There may be multiple, but we have a few years to explore that and make sure that, they change a lot. We want to make sure that we're providing the one that's most up to date and that's going to give them the most bang for their buck in the workplace. Yes, sir.
Can you touch on the application/wait list process? I think there's probably some confusion. Let's say you apply to 4 pathways plus CGS, and you get into 3 of the pathways, but you don't know anything about the CGS or the other pathway yet. Is there a certain amount of time that you need to wait until you get notified where you are on a wait list? How's that going to work? I know once you select something, you automatically decline everything else. If you're first on the wait list for CGS, and you pick something and you decline it, then you had no shot at CGS unless you wait until you, how's that?
Right, and so we do not, at this point in time, we are not planning on notifying parents as to where they are in the wait list, because there are many different variables. Meaning, so CGS is a separate application system than the lottery-based systems. So we have to keep those separate. I do not believe, and I'm not positive about this answer, I'll be honest with you. I joined Stafford about a year ago, and I don't believe that the CGS wait list is published. So you won't know where you are in the wait list.
Right, but so it takes like the top 30 for each location, and let's say, you could be number 31 for this location, but if you go ahead and pick something else, then you automatically decline that, so.
Right, that's why we're asking students to apply for programs that they really are interested in so that they can make an informed decision right there.
Is there any benefit to then, like, as soon as you're notified on February 5th, whatever, there doesn't seem to be any benefit of immediately accepting, because then you could be missing out on something that you're waiting for.
That is true. You may choose to wait until that first due date. I will tell you that the subsequent due dates will be a shorter time frame, because what we're going to do is have the information sessions in between when we notify in the first date, and then the subsequent due dates will be a week apart. So you'll get a week after notification. Yes, ma'am.
So is there a time frame to say yes? Like, if everyone's giving you on February 7th, I'm assuming, that if you apply to 4 and then maybe you got into 3, they're all gonna tell you on February 7th you got into 3. But is there a time frame to accept or decline any other, like?
So initially for that first round of offers, you'll have until February 21st. So you'll have a little over 2 weeks to make that decision. Dr. Rice?
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Dr. Rice, our Director of High Schools.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I was going to add to that. I believe we are in talks about hosting like one final session, perhaps, to say, okay, you've received your acceptances. Here's some additional information about what your experience could look like in this specialty center to help you make that final decision before that deadline close to the end of February. So within that 2-week window, there will be an additional opportunity for parents and students to come out to speak with, at that point, the teachers who will be leading the centers within the programs, teachers within the programs. Our goal is to have students who have already taken some of those classes, depending on the center, so that it can be more of a well-informed family decision in regards to your final decision. So within that 2-week window, there'll be another opportunity to ask questions and make an informed decision about whether to accept the offer or not, especially if you have multiple offers.
And with that, we're just 2 minutes over. So the next session starts we have till 7:15, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have a couple more minutes. Anybody else have another question? I thought I saw a hand. No? Yes?
Are they all getting picked, like, since there's lottery versus application, are they all getting picked at the same time?
Yes. All the notifications will go out at the same time.
Okay, and then when you apply for things, are you ranking yourself? Like, are you picking 1, 2, 3, and then in order which you would prefer, or is it just lottery?
So there's a rank order in the application process, but it's really about you ranking your order and thinking about which one you want to have first, second, and third. It also informs us as to what people are most interested in. So there's a dual purpose there, but no, it does not impact the lottery selection. It does not. Yes? You can ask as many as you like.
I know you said that this program gives you a general engineering, a little bit of this and that. Do they also include like, I know you said robotics arm, but do you have like drones or gaming and coding or aerospace engineering?
I'm sure that aerospace, so let me take that in pieces. So first of all, right now, the current engineering program that's at North Stafford High School will actually become an aerospace engineering focused program in a couple of years when we open up that program. So we won't have duplicative programs. The civil part of this will move over to Stafford with this, so it'll be more civil and mechanically focused. However, we're going to be providing the skill sets that are necessary for any engineering degree. What we hope to do is give students enough information that they can inform themselves about making the right decision when they go to college about which engineering track they're going to go down. Yeah, and then when it comes to will there be applications in drone technology and robotics and other things, there will certainly be a myriad of opportunities. Those have not been individually mapped out. A lot of that comes with the teacher professional that's finding out what the kids are interested in and then figuring out how that maps to what they have access to in terms of resources.
Michael, I was just going to share, just to piggyback off of that, I think what students can expect in all the specialty centers is that when they take their core classes is to see elements of the specialty center reflected in that work. So for example, you mentioned drones, and coding drones specifically may be something that perhaps may be an application that the physics teacher may want to add to their class. But your students will also see applications of their specialty center focus in their core classes as well. So will there be like a specific drone class here at Stafford? Probably not. Will there be applications of it in those core classes? That is very likely, and something that we are encouraging and working with teachers to customize the instruction for their students, which is why you will see students move through their daily schedule, and I'm sure Michael's already discussed this, in a cohort fashion, because their core coursework is going to be geared towards the specialty center.
Okay, let's wrap that up, and we're going to go out to, what is it, 7:20? Is that the start time?
Yes.
For the next, so we have 4 to 5 minutes for you to get to your other session if you are visiting another session. Thank you for coming tonight.
Yes, thank you.